You're watching TBPN.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day.
I tend to think competition makes us better. I also spent time living in protectionist India, and it sucked.
The roles have reversed. The Chinese economy has been slowing, and as part of an effort to reverse that, the US seems to not want people to buy a lot of goods, or at least not foreign goods, and we're all about manufacturing.
We need to rebuild American manufacturing. We need to unlock this golden age of prosperity, which does require rethinking globalism, does require rethinking our tax and regulation.
What happened since the 70s through the 90s is we offshored all manufacturing to developing countries because we didn't want to deal with it. And all great power conflicts hang off the back of commercial manufacturing being able to pivot to defense when it really matters.
Tariffs, whatever you want, has immediate near-term structural effects. We are going to have the industrial base we have. And so we have to figure out what we can do with the capacity we have.
Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country.
How do you think about job creation?
Yeah, we need to bring back manufacturing, but it's not a jobs program.
Everything else around you is changing, including how much money people have to spend and how they're reorienting their dollars.
This isn't just about tariffs. This is about resetting global financial imbalances. It's less to me about the ideas behind the policy, but the execution.
This is definitely an intentional strategy to kill globalism.
ChatGPT is to this generation what Google was to the last.
AI is going to just completely transform writing. And it's really tabooed right now to write with AI, but if you talk to people behind closed circles, there's a lot of tech-forward writers who are like, whoa, I can 3-4x my output.
We have to be careful because when you use ChatGPT and every time you ask a question, you get different answers. That's beautiful, right? You're like, write me a poem, it'll write me many different poems. Awesome.
Yeah.
You don't want that when it comes to your finances.
There is something, unique and significant about the rise of generative AI, like all the transformer-based architectures, what you're seeing, especially with the latest generation of frontier models, as being essentially like a reasoning engine that can be used in concert with decision making.
I think open source is an important part of how we make sure that this benefits everyone. It isn't something that's just locked into a handful of big companies.
I love that he takes the position generally that he's like, it would just be, I really think we should avoid having a few big companies that control this very important technology. Except Meanwhile, in social networking.
When we're able to make voice a main mode of communication digitally, we're going to get so much more information.
AI agent infrastructure company is what you do as a developer if you have no other ideas. So that, YC should take that as a warning sign that their people are not going after the right path.
As long as you're building something that solves a problem for people, that's all that matters. If you can do that faster, easier, cheaper, that's all that matters for your users.
We sort of describe businesses as AI-led, AI-enabled, or AI-boosted. Every company needs to find a way to be AI-boosted.
The holy grail of AI agents is what we call the drop-in replacement for a human worker. And I think that's coming in 12 to 18 months.
We want lots of possible futures.
If we have the perception of a slowdown, people are going to stop spending, which will inherently lead to a slowdown.
I think there's a lot of innovation that needs to happen.
When the world is kind of moving around, it's the best time to start a company.
Try to get people towards building more things instead of just speculating.
I don't think this environment goes away anytime soon. People need to be preparing to be long-term focused because right now we've been playing the lottery and it's time to play chess.
We're going to live in an increasingly schizophrenic internet.
We don't know exactly what will happen.
I think we're all in this together.